Hello, Dark Zoners. I'm Jay Blumke with the Dark Zone. We want to bring you into the Los Angeles Police Museum, the very haunted Los Angeles Police Museum.
The LA Police Museum opened in 2001. This was an actual active police station. It was built in 1925 and it was in service until 1983. Here at the museum, we preserve and collect and tell the history of the Los Angeles Police Department. And so my job is to preserve all of those documents, whether it's written, oral, or some of the artifacts that we collect. There have been some very significant cases that come through this building. The notable one would be with the Charles Manson murders. That's a very extensive collection that we have because you have 2 murder scenes. The Sharon Tate murders out in West LA, and then here in this division was the second set of murders, which was the LaBianca family. Marilyn Monroe would be another. We have everything associated with her death and all the records. Elizabeth Short, also known as the Black Dahlia case. It is still an open case, and it's in the cold case files. Another notorious case that came through LAPD and in the area because he was active around here and he lived in East LA was the Night Stalker, Richard Ramirez.
You have some actual attachment to that case.
Yeah, so he was very active in 1984, 85. And if anyone lived in Los Angeles will remember how everybody was afraid because he came in at nighttime and he did a lot of satanic rituals after he tied people up, including entire families, and then he would sadistically kill them one by one. So what he would do is he would steal a car and he would drive to a location where he could try to find his victims, and once he found a residence, and he would go in, he would tie people up and victimize them. Then he would take the vehicle someplace and he would torch the vehicle, so he would destroy any evidence of him being inside. I was working in West LA at the time, and I was working the graveyard shift. And my partner and I see a suspicious vehicle. We pulled it over, ordered Richard Ramirez out, and at that time we didn't know who he was. But my partner handcuffed him. I checked the ignition. He had used a screwdriver. He punched it so he can start the vehicle. So that told us that this is an unreported stolen. And we arrested him for stolen vehicle, and then he was charged. At the police station, I sat him down, I took his photo, and then I took him in, fingerprinted him, and booked him for that crime. So August of 1985, he had committed, I think, his second or third murder. Again, he torches the vehicle, only this time we got his thumbprint, which matched the prints that I took, which then brought up his recent photo. So they used that for the wanted poster. People recognized him, and that's when they charged him and attacked him, and were able to finally arrest him. We have the North Hollywood Shootout. That was a large shootout where the bad guys are shooting at the police with heavy weapons. We went against fully auto rifles, which led to their demise at the scene. Everything that they had at the time of death are here in the museum. Everything from what they wore, their equipment, their body armor is here.
All of the things that we house and hold, we put on display for others to observe, but there are pieces that are just so heavily tied in with somebody's emotions or the event that happened attached to that piece or that item could certainly still bear that energy.
There's something going on here at the museum that's unusual. There's paranormal activity here.
Our employees who are here on a regular basis and sometimes at odd hours and nights, they're the ones who experience more issues than any of us.
I've been working here 6 years in July. The first time I had to lock up here by myself, I heard footsteps coming up from the basement.
The basement used to be our roll call room. At the beginning of the shift, the officers will assemble, and the watch commander is at the far end, and he assigns the officers to what they're going to work that day and whom they're going to work with.
I had an experience back in 1978. For some reason, I had to go down to my locker to pick up whatever equipment or whatever it was I was going to get. I went down, and I started feeling a little creepy. I felt as if I was being watched. I turned my back on the main locker room, and I had my hands up in my locker, and I felt as if something was going down my spine, as if a finger or an elbow, and it started at the base of my neck. And when I turned, because it scared the hell out of me, I saw a Caucasian with a big mustache, a bobby-type hat, which we used to wear on the LAPD years ago, and he said, "Get out."
It was creepy down there to me. One particular picture kept popping out at me, and I was told he was the first motor cop killed in the line of duty, Walter Krebs.
The anniversary of his death is on March 28th of this year. We get activity in the museum, not only just the artifacts itself, but anniversary dates. So we're down in the basement, and all of a sudden the temperature starts dropping. And it went down to 68, 65 degrees, and we all could clearly hear the word Walter.
Also down in our basement in the old firing range, there's certainly an energy there that it's really palpable, I think.
It scares me. I get really cold. I can't walk past a certain area.
So you don't like it in here?
No, I get real lightheaded.
Leave?
Yes.
Okay. We'll leave.
In those boxes are things that came from the DA's office that still have evidence in them from crime scenes. I was downstairs and I was going through some old uniforms, and behind my ear I heard a sort of a whispering sound. I heard that kind of thing. And I turned around and there was nothing there. And I walked out of the room and I came back upstairs just so I could sort of gather my thoughts about it.
The second floor was more the administrative. That's where the captain's secretary, the captains, and all that would be.
I've heard footsteps. I see shadows all the time. We hear a lot of knocking. When I'm sitting at my desk, I feel something petting my leg, petting my hair. Like, I always think, what is that? Like, and I brush it. There's nothing there, of course.
It's a different vibe. As soon as you walk in through the hallways, I feel that someone's watching me. I was in Misha's office, and I hear a lot of doorknob movement.
We get up every day thinking someone's trying to open the door, and there's nobody there.
Since COVID, it's just been her and I, and so she has a full access to the hallway. And she tends to do this, and she's like, just saw something like passing by. And that obviously, it's pretty eerie.
This SWAT mannequin, I always noticed because I have a direct eye line from my office. He was in a certain position, standing up more. And we came back in the morning and he was leaning against the wall. I was wondering if he just got jostled and just kind of fell over, but the thing that was extra weird is that his whole face was turned the opposite way of what it normally was.
We have two cell sections. One is the misdemeanor, and the other one is the felony, which only has 2 cells. When it was an active jail, we had one individual who committed suicide.
When I walk through there, I immediately just get this cold shiver down my spine. Right when I walk through there, and when I walk out, it's over.
It's ice cold in there. It could be 110 degrees outside. And you walk through there and it's icy.
This floor used to be our detective section, the squad room.
Pretty much most of this floor, I get the creeps through when I'm by myself.
I believe that there's a lot going on in the North Hollywood Shootout exhibit.
The presence in there, I cannot explain to you. It feels like something is just in there and watching the whole time.
You look at those mannequins, their eyes penetrate you.
We have a clip of a very weird voice at 3:43 a.m. in the morning. I have a Ring camera at home and I don't hear those noises.
I believe that there's a lot going on in the Commissioner's Gallery. There's a room up there that basically has all the DA's files.
Some restricted files that are not seen by the public, and there's a lot of evidence that we have and you know, various things that we have in there. So the energy there is just, it's so heavy.
I don't think anything is going to actually harm you. It's just, they definitely tell you they're here.
I don't look at paranormal activity as being bad or good. It's just what it is. And I believe that this is a haunted building.
So, who do we have with us?
Tonight we'll be working with Susan Slaughter, Kristen Luman, Brandon Alvis, and Melissa St. Hilaire. But to get things started, we'll have an employee of the Los Angeles Police Museum, Misha Walden, show us where she's experienced activity.
So this is our conference room. This is where the roll call room was, but right now we use it as our conference room. And then we also have a lot of paranormal experiences down here. Here's the picture of Officer Walter Krebs, and he was killed in the line of duty. And he was a motor officer, and we've captured his spirit down here a lot.
Was this the room that we also see a photo of some violet light as well?
Yes, the violet orb.
Yeah.
It was right over there.
Okay.
And if I understand, these were the lockers at one time right here, right?
Over here too. I'll show you. This is lockers for the officers' guns. Okay. And this is our kitchen now. So they would store their guns in there.
You've had any activity in this area as well? Okay.
Yeah.
And you believe that it's all Walter?
Yes.
He's in his locker room, and somebody touches him in the back, and he flips around and he sees a guy with a big bushy mustache. He says, "Get out." Now, we see the photograph of Walter. That photograph is no mustache. So are we thinking it's a different spirit?
Yes.
And that his story would have taken place in this room?
Yes.
Okay.
I'll take you to the room that I've had experiences in. And this holds our archives. And I've had experiences where I can't walk past a certain point. You feel like something's put a cold blanket over you, and it kind of stops you from moving past.
What is that point?
It's right here. It's like around this area. It starts. It gets really cold, and you get a heavy feeling. You get kind of lightheaded.
You said it felt like almost like a heavy blanket over you?
Yes.
Okay. It's like that almost every time, or just a few times you found that?
It's like that mostly every time.
I also had an experience that first time that I came here, the first time we met. And I mean, I'm looking up and I'm curious if maybe we take some readings in here. This is an old building, but like even now and last time, I get the same sensations that everyone reports. Like just standing here right now, I get like kind of jittery. Like my voice feels like shaky, my stomach feels shaky, my hands feel shaky. So I can relate.
Is that someone out there? Or did you hear it?
Weird noise. That sounded like an animal or something.
Yeah.
That's what so it was like right down that same area we were at.
Misha, does that sound like anything familiar to you?
I haven't heard that sound before.
Do you guys want to go check it out?
Might as well take a look, huh? But what's in these boxes right here? Do you know?
It's archives.
Archives, okay.
Yes. Well, now where Brandon will be. We had to lose Brandon.
We also have another camera here, right?
Yeah, this one's live as well.
Okay.
So that was rolling. So if anyone was listening, they probably hear that, right? I mean, they had to hear it on the audio. I mean, that was so loud.
We all heard it, yeah. It was that, I don't know what that was. It was hard to do.
So, in that room, the long hall, Misha gets a feeling, Susan gets a feeling. Anybody else?
Well, I noticed right when the ceiling changed, I felt a little bit different. But I'm wondering if that has to do with the structure. Because the ceiling goes out, which are normally, you look up in the lights, and then it goes to pipes and all of this kind of electrical looking kind of stuff. And it just made me feel a bit more uncomfortable.
There's definitely, it's colder, but I mean, it's concrete, and it is darker in that area, but definitely you do feel a change in the environment for sure.
All right, Misha, you want to take us to the next spot?
This is the misdemeanor holding cells, and we've gotten a lot of activity here too. I believe we captured some orbs, and one of our volunteers, Lori, got touched on the head while we were doing an investigation here with Dead Horse. When we were standing over here, she just felt someone touch her head.
So, just to clarify, we're on the first level that you would walk into from the street, right?
Yes.
And then the level we were just at is actually the basement.
The basement.
Below us. Okay.
Yes.
And so back in the day, this is where all the captains and so forth would have their offices and around these jail cell blocks, right?
Yes. These are the felony jail cells, and this was where a prisoner hung himself. His name was Manny. They called him Manny the Molester.
And what year did he take his life?
1953.
And he was brought here under suspicion of what?
Of child molestation.
So he probably hung himself from one of these bars up here. Huh.
So, Misha, correct me if I'm wrong, but you guys have investigated these cells several times. I don't think you've gotten any sounds, any EVPs, but you get a lot of like anomalous K2 readings and temperature readings and things like that, right?
Yes.
And that's from the investigations, but the activity that's reported is aside from the investigations, where people feel like they're, hearing whispering, like somebody's following them down this hallway, and also that they get like whistles and cat calls. Is there anything else?
One person who was visiting was starting to take pictures, and her whole camera just went dead, and it drained it. And she asked, "Is this place haunted?" And so Cynthia was telling her about it, things like that. And then the little kid that wouldn't go past the jail cell, he just started crying. This is our main exhibit area. We have our canine exhibit here. Our Adam 12 exhibit is one of our newer exhibits.
And what happens up here?
We've gotten a lot of orbs, footsteps, and over here in the uniform gallery, we've captured orbs. In this room. And we've also thought we made contact with Chief Gates, Daryl Gates, that his spirit might be in here.
How did you feel his presence here?
Spirit box.
Spirit box.
Yes.
So just mainly orbs and the spirit box kind of activity in this area?
Yes.
Okay.
This was a case of a kidnapping of 2 police officers, and one of them was killed, Ian Campbell. And so this room's dedicated to that case. You do get a heavy kind of feeling.
And that heavy feeling that you guys experience, is it all the time or just periodically?
It's kind of all the time. It's a sad feeling.
Where to next?
Jane, you said you had a strange feeling in this room. I'm calling you out on it. You're being all quiet over there. And I remember when we came here, he was like, I don't know about you guys, but it's the onion field room that does it for me. So tell me, what does it for you, Jay?
You know, I as most people know, I don't feel anything ever. I have no experiences except for a couple. But when I came here the first time and walked around in every room, so the rooms that I thought would kind of freak me out did not. But when I came into this room, I don't know what it was, but it sticks with me. You know, I'm not going to say it spooks me out, because it doesn't really spook me out, but I remember it. And it's a room that it's like the one room that sticks with me when I walk out. And I don't know why. I think that mannequin over there has something to do with it. You know?
He's a ballistics dummy, right?
Yeah. And that was evidence that was in the case. But yeah, this room it's the only room in the whole museum that makes me feel like if there's a haunted room, it's this one. But people don't really have any stories about this room, except for they get a kind of a sad feeling. Thank you for calling me out.
And this is the North Hollywood room, where we get most of our activity.
And there's a live camera on that one too.
Okay, I can see why people are uncomfortable around these 2 guys.
This is all the original clothing, right?
Yes,
This is
it's
it.
all the original clothing and weapons. So this has been the most activity we've gotten in this room. They've said their names through the spirit box. We've gotten K2 meters, readings, and we felt them during investigations come out of, like, their ghosts come out of the display case and kind of move around the room around us, and we've captured their orbs on camera.
Okay.
Okay, when you say that you felt like they came out and moved around you, was that a feeling, or did you hear footsteps, or what made you feel like they were around you?
We heard footsteps during one investigation, and we were communicating with the spirits, and all of a sudden I thought they got out, because if you see, there's a security light on inside of the case.
Mm-hmm.
And if it goes off, that means something's moving around in the case. And it went off for a long time, and I said, I think something's moving out of there. And then all of a sudden we heard footsteps run down the stairs.
Oh, wow. So it's kind of like a motion detector in it?
Yes.
And that case looks pretty sealed shut, right?
Yeah.
It's not like doesn't seem like it's easy for a moth to get into, or.
No. And then when I also noticed, like, big shadows behind people while we were doing the investigation. That wasn't their shadows, and that was pretty intense.
And what did you say? I don't know if you've told them yet. with the eyes?
Oh, if you watch them, it seems like their eyes follow you. And at first I just thought it was playing tricks on me, but a bunch of people during the investigation noticed it too. And their eyes really followed and changed. And a medium was with us that time, and she said they were playing party tricks with their eyes on us.
Well, that's not creepy or anything.
Yeah, I literally, when we were just all staring at them, I literally physically got the chills, like down the spine.
Yeah.
It is a very creepy sort of setup with the eyes and the mask.
Are the shell casings original too?
I believe so.
Wow.
So I interviewed a man who was part of this. We didn't get a chance to use his interview. He was one of the officers who responded, and he said that the blood that's on these clothes is their blood. Right? These clothes were what they were wearing, and they put them on these mannequins.
You can kind of see, where's my finger? Right here, there's like a
Look at this.
stain.
Look at this arm over here.
Yeah.
See that?
There's the bullet holes right there. Right next to the harness. Yeah, and then he got shot on the legs too. So look, you can see the bullet holes in his pants. That's where he bled to death from.
Jeez.
This guy's got some.
Oh, wait a minute. Was that the one who got?
That's right there.
Is that Emil or is that Larry?
That's Larry.
Okay, so Larry's the one that killed himself.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so Susan,
Okay,
this is the guy. Yeah.
Yeah.
So the guy on the left is Larry Phillips, and the guy on the right is Emil. And his last name is not easy to pronounce for me. But Emil was the second guy to die. You have another interesting story about these guys.
Uh-huh.
And it's not related to this room, it's related to that staircase that we used to walk up here.
Okay. So Cynthia and I, we didn't talk about this at all. But the psychic came in and said, when she told us about Emil standing behind me, she said, be careful because he doesn't like women, and be careful on the stairs, particularly the stairs up to the second floor. He can't push you, but he can put into your head and make you nervous, and you might trip down the stairs. And I always had visions of accidentally tripping whenever I walked down those stairs or up. It just always popped into my head. And Cynthia, my coworker, had the same exact visions, and we both never discussed it with each other. And one of our Patty, who's our cleaner, always, like, she said she would trip on those stairs, and I think Bob did too.
And Lori had the same thought process.
And yes, and Lori too. And we had never discussed it with each other at all.
These are all people you work with.
Yes.
And then you found out you all had the same story or the same thought process from going down the stairs, that you might trip and fall.
Yes.
And the psychic said that Emil might put these thoughts in your head, so just be careful around the stairs.
Be careful, yeah.
All right, let's head up to the top level.
This is the third floor, which is the commissioner's gallery. And this floor, we get some activity right around here.
So, why is this area a good area to investigate?
I think because we have evidence that we can't talk about, but that brings a lot of energy to this area.
So you have you have archives and evidence stored in a place nearby to this central spot that is potentially haunted. It's evidence that is associated with some very famous, notorious cases, murders, other things.
Yes.
And it's not available to the public, and it's not something we can see.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But this is a very active spot because of that stuff.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so, audience, there's things that we can't see. There's things that we're not allowed to talk about because it's associated with active cases and so forth. But there is stuff here that is associated and has attachments that makes this area very interesting. All right? So, you, Susan, I believe have a special guest that you need to go get set up for.
Yes.
Okay?
I'll see you guys.
And I'm going to ask you guys, how do you think you're going to kind of attack this place? What are the thoughts immediately that you have in terms of how you want to do this?
Well, you know, one thing that stuck out to me right away is that each level has its different type of activity. Each floor is going to be a different story, really.
Mm-hmm. A different attack, maybe, if I were going to handle it, based on the history that's also in that room. But yeah, I'm really excited to see what we get in the way of EVPs too.
Mm-hmm. Especially with the motion detector over there in the North Hollywood Shootout area, that's going to be
Mhm.
something that's going to be interesting. This area with the orb, something we can try to recreate that, but we can also get the EMCV camera out, the photon camera, see what we can do with that.
I love that you have the photon.
So there's a lot we can do. We get brought some new gadgets we can try out, especially
Mhm.
with EMF. So we can, there's a lot we can try and build off of.
Okay, so we've done the tour. These guys have gotten a good sense of, what the building has to offer and what the lay of the land is. Thank you, Misha, so much. And we are going to now kick it off to Susan Slaughter, who is interviewing our very first guest.
Hey guys, so welcome back. We are obviously here at the Los Angeles Police Museum, but I wanted to introduce you to a secret and special treat that we didn't really allude to on all of our banners as we were, promoting the event. That was mostly because we are working with Melissa St. Hilaire. She is a psychic, medium, intuitive, and so we didn't want to give her too much tags and things on social media because we kind of wanted to keep her in the dark. Obviously, you see where you're at now. This entire time, she was waiting in the car outside. So I'm glad to finally take you out of there and bring you on tonight's investigation. She's going to be a member of our team. And we're going to be focusing on a more intuitive investigation for our very first night here at the Los Angeles Police Museum. And to guide us down that path of investigation is Melissa. Thank you so much for joining us here at the Dark Zone.
Oh, I'm so excited to be here. You have no idea.
I want to introduce you to the rest of the team over here. We have Brandon Alvis and Kristen Luman.
Let's do it.
All right, so follow me, I guess. And whenever you feel anything, just let us know.
I should tell you when I first pulled up and sat outside, I got chills through my entire body as I started to walk a little bit close to it, and then I was like, oh geez, okay, this place is wicked haunted.
Yeah.
Now inside here, I'm not getting. Oh, hold on. Okay, that might be just the elevator because I feel something cold right now.
Yeah. So yeah, but this is what we are talking about over here. The lighting here right now is beautiful because of where the sun is.
So how I work, just to explain, is I also psychometry. Do you know what psychometry is? Like when you touch things and you get a sense of something. And it's also called clairtangency. So I like to touch things a lot, which sometimes drives people crazy. Is it okay to touch things here?
Go for it.
Great. Wow, this just feels unbelievably sad in here. There's a sense of just like someone having given up on life, like just really, really just incredibly depressed. Do you want to bring that tool in here?
Yeah, let's give it a shot. Kind of just set it right here and.
Oh.
Oh.
Yeah. Now, the interesting thing about psychometry is that sometimes you get an actual haunted object, and in which case there's like a spirit or an entity in the object. But other times you just get an echo of something. So the actual object isn't haunted. It's just sort of a residue left over by, whatever event occurred or whatever entity touched the thing. This might just be an echo because I'm not getting a lot of, I'm not getting like an entity feeling here, but there's just this lingering emotion. So I'm not getting much more here. Let's move on.
Sure.
I feel something here, but it almost just feels like a human being sat here not too long ago.
So it's feeling a little warm.
Yeah, but it's not so much warm as it is just it feels more like a living energy. But that could also be an entity as well. But I'm getting more like a living vibe for some reason. Okay, let's move on here. Let's see. This is strange. I just immediately heard in my head blood here. Now, I don't know exactly what that means. I don't know if you want to put a gadget over here.
I'm just kidding. We just had a jump right over here.
Like, I honestly wouldn't be surprised if someone died here, because there's a really strong sense as if a pool of blood had been in this location. Oh, like a long time ago, though.
There was a strange jump when I was walking through sort of the doorway. Went from 0, 0 to 2.9, which is a pretty big jump from 0, 0. Let's just check this out again.
There's also something strange over here. I don't know if you want to. It feels like I keep getting this sense of someone saying, please put me at peace, or make me go to peace, or something like that. Really strange.
Just
like a tiny
little, no EMF spikes, but a drop, but a very slight drop in temperature. That seems to be consistent with that area.
Yeah, there's something here, and there's something about this iron bed as well. There's a lot of strange energy in the iron bed. Now, iron usually neutralizes spirit activity, and there's this idea that when you're doing seances or what have you, that if you have iron, you kind of just want to like let it stay. You don't want to move it around too much because it can direct and move energy. But this feels really funky to me. Like, I don't know if someone had at one time been handcuffed to this, or gosh, if even someone tried to hurt themselves on this somehow, But let's move on to another spot.
I'm just looking at these.
These are really, these are really intense.
To keep the arms or the hands wrapped around, thinking.
Yeah, these have a lot of negative energy, and I actually didn't want to touch these at first because I was sort of repelled by them, to be honest. But there's a lot of negative energy in these. You know, they're filled with sadness, they're filled with fear, they're filled with anger, a lot of anger as well.
I feel like that would make sense.
Yeah.
Considering they were used to.
And the longer I hold it, the more I get it's like a creepy crawly feeling at my arm, as if something was trying to get out of it. So I'm just gonna stop touching that now. Whew, okay. This room immediately makes me feel seasick and a little sick to my stomach. Typically that seasick feeling, wow, it's really strong right here. Like it's making me kind of shake a little bit. So that seasick feeling is something that happens a lot during seances when spirit enters the space. I'm getting a male energy on this.
Baseline is staying 0, 0.
I don't know if you want to try it.
Temperature
there.
Just no changes. That
No
was normal.
changes.
Yeah, just a minor little.
But it's interesting, when I step back over here, I don't get it as strongly. I still get kind of a slight woozy feeling, but when I'm standing where you are, I just get overwhelmed with this sickness. It could also be that somebody here was violently ill. That's another possibility. Because it has that, you know, I'm also medical intuitive, so I also get things in my body, like if someone was sick or had an accident or something, and I'm getting a lot of weird stomach stuff right here.
Okay.
So it could be either.
All right. That makes sense.
Where to next?
Okay, there are more places.
Okay.
This place is actually 3 levels, so.
Let's see if we get anything. Oh, this is a funky vibe right here. So right here, right now, I'm getting static, like as if, like a faraway radio, you know, like a radio that's tuned to, or in between stations, and you get that kind of like shh sound.
The white noise.
Yeah.
What does white noise usually mean to you?
Usually to me, that means that someone's trying to talk to us. Okay. And
So it's very symbolic. If you're getting static, they're trying, we're not hearing.
exactly, they want to talk to us. And that would be, you know, when I would want to, you know, pull out a spirit box or something like that to see if we could get the voices coming through.
I do know that they were using a lot of spirit box for their last investigation here. So maybe that could be related somehow to that.
Oh, interesting, yeah.
Yes, 30.3.
There's a warmth right here. It's really strange because
Check out the
it's,
temperature. Oh, we're at 65 over here, 65.1, 65.2.
Raise a little,
just a tiny, tiny bit.
Keeps going from 2 to 3, 65.3, 65.2.
But this room feels way different than the other jail cells. This one has more like, if I close my eyes, I feel like I'm doing this. It has a really, so that dizziness that you felt, I'm getting that right here really strongly. And it feels like I'm also getting a chest pain, or, not an actual chest, but like a sensation of a chest pain. I don't know if anybody in here had a heart attack. That's what it feels like. That would be my first guess.
Did you hear that?
Yeah.
It was. I heard like a yes.
Yeah.
See, I looked at you and your eyes were like right here. You freaked me out when I looked at you. Your eyes were like this. I was like, you heard it too.
Same disembodied quality, everything.
The whole time I've been hearing, it was the same thing.
When I put my hand here, there's a strange feeling coming through this bed. And it has like a heartbeat feeling, but it also has like just like something is moving in there. And it's really, really peculiar. Very particularly right here. I can feel it.
Did you hear that again?
Yeah.
I just want to be quiet for a second.
Yeah.
Is there someone in this cell with us? Should we play tag?
Did anybody get a ringing in their ear just now? I just got a ringing in my right ear. Only my right ear.
No.
It's strange.
Your pressure change.
We'll take out this earbud to listen to it. Whoa, that's something.
That's kind of what we're hearing in our headsets.
Okay.
It's just something people. Something people. It's like 4 words.
You wanna,
Oh, damn it. This isn't.
mm-hmm. We are, something like we are the people?
Yeah. We are people?
You hear that, right?
We are
That's
the
what
dark
we're picking up on
people.
our headsets.
Yeah. I just get chills through my whole
That's exactly what we were hearing.
So what are you hearing?
I definitely hear people in there for sure.
Something like that.
Yeah, it's really interesting.
I'm so glad that we brought that recorder out because that's exactly what we've been hearing in the headphones.
Yes.
It was that, like, you would say something and then would kind of have a reaction to what you're saying.
Wow.
We'll listen one more time. We'll keep listening too. I mean, people's really pronounced.
Yeah.
It is, yeah. It's really pronounced.
I hear a lot of rustling.
But see, I'm like in my headset, hearing that, and I'm like, what am I hearing? But it's more pronounced. Like, I couldn't make out words in my headset, but I could hear the phonetics in that.
Oh yeah, for sure.
That's fun. It's not even dark yet.
No. They really want to talk.
Yeah, I love that.
And I don't know if you heard it, but right before you said there was a lot of rustling, I thought I heard the word time right before you spoke.